This is how we do the salt solution. We adding the salt into the water, or we add it into the hot water. We keep heating up the water and add the salt into the hot water. Make sure it becomes saturated, or we say super saturated, to get a better results. And don't worry, we will filter it so we can only get the solution without the extra salt. This is how we filter it to get rid of impurities, excess salt, so we only get the pure solution, or the super saturated salt solution into our container, and let it to be evaporate, cool down, so we can get the crystals. Again, we do some recap of how we produced our salt solution. So first of all, we dissolve the salt, the table salt we got from the market, into the hot water to get our super saturated salt solution. So why we using hot water instead of using room temperature water is because by using hot water, it helps us to get more salt dissolved and produce a more saturated salt solution, which is essential or easier for us to get our cubic crystal. So the chlorine ion is formed when the chlorine atoms gains an electrons, resulting in increment of electron repulsions. So this explains that why chlorine ions have a greater ionic radius compared to Cl of chlorine atoms, and it's vice versa for the sodium atoms, sodium ions. So NaCl crystals are formed through a process called crystallizations, which occurs when the sodium atoms and sodium ions and chlorine ions comes together to create a stable, repeating patterns. The formations begins with the dissolution of sodium chloride in water, where the ionic bonds between sodium and chlorine atoms breaks, resulting in separated sodium and chlorine ions. As the solvents evaporates or cool down, the ions start to attract each other due to their opposite charge. So this attraction causes the ions to come closer together and align themselves in 3 dimensions lattice structures. The positive sodium ions are surrounded by negative chlorine ions, and vice versa, maintaining electrical neutrality. And over time, as more ions joins the growing crystal lattice, a solid NaCl crystal structure is formed by its distinct cubic shape and high degree of order. So as the NaCl crystal continues to grow, the additional sodium ions and chlorine ions from surrounding solutions join the crystal lattice, so going to join. This process is known as accretions. The crystal lattice expands in a controlled manner with the arrangement of ions following the rules of crystallography. So this is basically the fundamental theory that how the NaCl crystal is formed. So this is how it looks like when it's still, we say, fresh, or just put into the container of the salt solution. We put a syringe inside to hope to get a line of salt crystals. This is how it looks like after 2 days, not mistaken. This is how it looks like after 4 or 5 days, and last, after maybe 2,000 years, we get the crystal. So we can see the sharp edges there, so you might see some flaws there because during the selection I might have done some pressure on it, so it breaks, but still we can get the sharp edges and the cubic shape. So I guess it's okay.